Welcome to the True Demon Lord Show. I am the True Demon Lord Franco, and today we're going to be looking at some Chaos Demon lists that have done quite well recently. Going over the weekend of the 17th and 18th of August, we're going to look at, I think it's 5 lists that went 4-on-1 at fairly large events. Definitely one 250-ish man event, and then a couple of other events, all fairly decent sized. We haven't looked at any 3-0 RTTs, not for any reason specifically, nothing against them. I like the RTTs and all that, and you can test out some good lists. But going 4-on-1 at large events is quite a good metric to measure how good a list could be, and obviously player skill on top of that. So we're just going to go through this. This is partly going to be kind of a new series. I say it's a new series. We're going to do it here and there, where we're going to talk over some good Chaos Demon lists. I know a lot of people have been asking about seeing different Chaos Demon lists, what lists are doing quite well at the moment. And so this is hopefully a good platform to show people, give people an idea, and then give my opinions on the list. What I think the game plan is with it, how I think it will play, how I like what I like about it, what maybe I don't like about the list. Um, and hopefully like be able to guide people when they are thinking and looking at what lists are doing good, to give them some ideas on lists they want to take. So if I do talk about your list and I say anything that you don't like or you disagree with, then please let me know, whether on here on the video or wherever I post it on social media. I'm always up for debate and discussion when it comes to demons. But yeah, I mean, just take it as my opinion on the list itself. So we are going to start with Jack West, from who went 4-1 at the Leeds Super Major. The Leeds here in the UK, one of the UKTC Super Majors. The last really large event, Super Major, before LGT at the end of next month. So um, Jack did quite well. Obviously, like I said, going 4-1, one of two Demon players to go 4-1 at LGT, and we'll go into the next one in a minute because it's a little bit sore personally, but we'll get to it. So Jack is taking a list, Fat Boys. I love that. That's a great title straight away. 2,000 points on the nose. So he's got the Bloodthirster with Argath. I mean, the guy's an animal, right? we go over him so many times. He's checking out 9 attacks at strength, 18, -4 D6 +2 damage on the big smacks. That's so much like potential damage now. Very capable of rolling ones, very susceptible to -1 to wound and just being tanked by 4-up invulns. But that's pretty much anything. To be honest, that's not just a him problem. Mine just doesn't like making 6-inch charges, but that's just my one. He just hates me. But now you get a Bloodthirster, really good animal in combat and just really, really good smashing monster. We've got the ground clean one. We love the ground clean one. We talk about them all the time. 20 toughness, 12 wounds with a 4-up in 4-up for no pain. His -1 toughness debuff is really, really good. And he's just very good to push up to the middle of the board and hold part of the board, hold an objective, anchor it down, giving you some consistent primary. And again, is a problem to deal with for your opponent when you're throwing things like Bloodthirsters and Blood Crushers and Keepers and Fiends, etc., etc. Then we have two Ren Masters. So we're going to be quite corn heavy here. Obviously, really, really good. Being able to pick an enemy unit with an 18 and visible them at the start of the fight phase. +1 strength, AP, and damage for all corn units that target them in melee. I mean, that makes the Bloodthirster potentially absolutely evil. Winning both of them, giving him buffs, means he's now winning toughness 10 on 2s. I assume there's going to be more stuff in here to benefit from it, but the options are there. And it is, yeah, Brewmasters are absolutely fantastic. And then when you start putting those buffs on units, you've also made -1 toughness for the ground clean one. You can now really have a really good combination there, and being able to now start winning things on 3s and 2s, etc., etc. We have old Rotigus. We love Rotigus. He's really, really good. I really like him. I've only dropped him over the last few weeks, probably month now, just because I kind of wanted to move away from the monsters. But Rotigus is still very good. He's got his 6-inch draw of half AC, half move. That's really, really nice, especially when you denizens of the warp him down for 3-inch deep strike. Get onto an objective, half the OC of a unit that's within 6 of him on the objective, and then take it off them. Use your 2d6 strength 7 -2 1 wound dev wound flamer. Yeah, and then obviously he's got a +1 damage aura as well, like the Red Masters, except no strength and AP and it only affects Nurgle. But giving himself damage for smacks or giving the Grand Clemon D6 +1, damage to sweeps on either of them. It's really really nice. Then we've got a Skullmaster, so we're gonna have Juggernauts in here. Um, I'm not massively sold on the Skullmaster. Like it gives the horns, the bladed horns on his unit, dev wounds. So that's quite nice. And then when you start combining that with Ren Masters, you're looking at damage 2, damage 3, potential dev wounds. Um, and then obviously the good part I do really like about him is when his unit makes a charge move, you force um all the units that his unit charged to take a battle shock test. Obviously they'll be -1 if they're in the shadows of chaos. And then they will take D3 mortal wounds. Just be aware. I think the best way to do it is you go in, you then proc the mortal wound. You proc the battle shock. There we go. My mind went completely blank there. You proc the battle shock, then you do your impact hits from the blood crushers. You will also get an extra D6 for him being in the unit as well, so 7d6, getting D3 mortal wounds on 4+, on each 4+. Really, really good. Um, I just don't know. I mean, we're looking at a list that is very corn heavy with some Nurgle elements, which is a very good archetype to be fair. And then we have Skull Taker. So again, I mean, as I was going to say again, we've probably got Bloodletters. We probably have. I don't feel like you need to have Bloodletters with Skull Taker because he gives them death wounds, which is really nice. I don't think his buff is like unlike the Bloodmaster where you want him in your Bloodletters, obviously. You can still run Skull Taker on his own. He's an animal. He's got death wounds on his own. He's got precision. He gets reroll hits and wins against character units. Like he is a bit of a beefy boy. Like he's a mini tank and will just rip apart any unit that has characters in it, and including to rip apart any character. So I really really like Skull Taker. But we do have 10 Bloodletters, so he'll sit in them more than likely. And then we've got 2 units of 10 Plague Bearers. I really, really like that. I think it's just 2 units of 10. Just 2 units of 10. I like that because one starts from the backfield, stickies it, and then mid to late game comes up and comes back down, denies primary, scores secondary. The other unit can deep strike down, again, deny primary points with 3-inch deep strike. I really, really like them. They're incredibly good point per win value at T5 2 wins. 5-up invuln for 110 points. Um, and obviously they get 6 up for up within 6 inches of the Grand Clean one. Rotagus can make them damage 2 in the fight phase, or make the unit they target +1 damage. So really, really nice. And then we have 6 Blood Crushers. So again, we've just gone through them. Blood Crushers are decent, especially when you've got 2 Ren Masters knocking about, a Skull Master going into the unit. Bloodthirster giving them +1 to hit, like loads of synergies here. And then 2 units of Fleshhounds. So again, doing some secondaries can become like basically mini fiends at strength 6 -2 damage with the Ren Master buff, strength 7 -3 damage with 2 Ren Master buffs. So, and then obviously 3 heroic, so you can keep them in a position to keep or to react to any charges on your Plague Bearers or Rotigers or Bloodletters, etc., just to have more stuff in combat, which is quite nice. So overall, it's the Nurgle archetype, no Be'lakor, which is, to be honest, I still think Be'lakor's very good, especially on UKTC. I still think he has a part to play, but also, yeah, you don't need to run him, and I think in this list, probably don't need no want him. Like the ground clean one's going to move, anchor a point. Rotagus is going to drop down and just be a massive disruption piece. The Bloodthirster is going to go in and just rip things apart. The Ren Master's giving support to him, to the 6 Blood Crushers, which will very good candidate, or 6 Blood Crushers and the Skullmaster, which are a very good candidate to drop down within 6 of the Thirster and go in. You can also drop your Plague Bearers within 6 of the Grand Clean one or Rotagus, which is also really nice, being able to drop Rotagus 3 or more away, drop Plague Barrier 6 or more away behind him, charge them in. Really, really nice combination. I love the synergies of this list. Like I said, it's very corn centric with Nurgle elements. I say with Nurgle elements. I mean, you've got Ground Clean one Rotagus, 2 units of Plague Bearers, to go alongside your Bloodletters, your Blood Crushers, your 2 units of Fleshhounds, and then your myriad of corn characters. But yeah, really solid list. Very aggressive while also having the anchoring points of the Nurgle stuff, which I really like. And I feel like if you want to go for a list that is really, really aggressive and will put out a good punch, then I think this is a good way to go about it because you've also got a bit of the safety net of the Nurgle stuff as well. And I feel like this list kind of wants to just jump in, jump on its opponent, push it back, and just hit it with hard damage in a go term. So yeah, really, really nice list. Um, then we're going to look at Josh Parry's list. This list makes me sad. Not for any other reason, but it's obviously a good list. And Josh Parry was on the Epic Flail stream, so go check out Epic Flail. I've appeared on their channel recently as well, talking about Demon. So go check them out. Go check out the lead stream. Josh Parry was on there on, I think it was round 5 on Sunday. So and he was against, I think it was Space Marines, I believe. And it looked, I kept checking into it, and it looked quite um say one-sided because there was a point where the demons were like Shalaxi was quite surrounded, and then next thing you look at it and it's like, okay, the Marines are all gone. But yeah, it's a very cool list, very interesting list. And the reason it's sore for me is because Josh in 4 events has had 4 fairly good, well, 3 really good scores and another pretty decent score, and has just rocketed up to the top of the UKTC Demon rankings. Obviously, if you follow the channel and you've seen the podcast with me, Luke, and Byron, and I mention it here and there as well. It's something that I've been really trying to get. Obviously, try to get every year. Just keep falling short. Um, and this was the 1 year where I had all my events, and damn, Josh has just had an absolutely insane run of events and jumped like 20 points ahead of me. Which going into LGT, 20 points, it doesn't seem like a lot, is a lot. Um, but yeah, this isn't about me. I've made this about me. This is about these lists and at the moment, Josh. So let's get into it. 2,000 points. We've got Bellacore. I love it. Got Shalaxi. Love it. She is still a bit pricey. I think I'm been a massive Shalaxi simp all edition, and in general, I like Shalaxi. I think she's very, very cool. She's the monarch of the hunt, right? She's awesome. But I feel like in this current climate, she's a bit pricey now. She's always like she's not gone up for anything recently, but I feel like you feel her points a bit more um in a meta and in like prior where you kind of want more scoring elements. Maybe it's just my thought, but I still think you can run her and do amazing. Obviously, Bellacore, we talk about Bellacore a lot. We love Bellacore. He keeps you protected through your Reefed Shades, gives you a multi-purpose universal shadow bubble, meaning anyone can drop within range of it, anyone can benefit from it, not just a god or a god set of demons. And also a good source of strength 14 damage as well when he decides to do his thing. And then Scarbrand, who is just, insane. Um, so yeah, I like this trio. I ran this trio for a while, towards the end of last year. And have I run it this year? I don't know if I've run it much this year. But I did love Bellacle Shlax in the Grand Cleon as well. But Bellacle Shlax in Scarman does insane damage. Byron, pretty much, I would say that's Byron's archetype. Like Byron is the originator of the Bellacle Shlaxi Scarbrand trio. Running it to 5-0 at LGT last year. But yeah, seeing Josh do well with it, it's not surprising. It's still super potent. The damage that it puts out is fairly insane. I have run it this year alongside the Grand Clean. I just remembered at the South Coast GT I did run it. But yeah, it's a really solid trio, and it's not surprised to see it doing well. 1 unit for Inergnans, which I really like as a way to kind of stop other infiltrating units to stop scout moves. I really love a unit of 3 Nurglings, and they always go into my list, and I would assume that's the same reason they're in this list. No plague bearers or anything like that, which is interesting. Um, then we have 3 units of 6 blood crushers, 18 blood crushers. That's nuts. So obviously the guys on top will get +1 attack while within 6 inches of Scarbrand, but just having 18 toughness 7, 4 wound, 4 up in one bodies, it's a lot to chew through. Blood crushers are deceivingly tough. It's kind of like it feels a bit Stody-esque, right? Obviously, they can't go through walls, and their combat is less good, I guess, but can be decent. But you're relying on those mortals, especially if you multi-charge these units in. Yeah, like it's just a horrible wall to deal with. While you've also got these 3 big smashing monsters behind them or in front of them, wherever they are at the time. Yeah, no, it's a really horrible combination. I can see against the right opponents and people that will just struggle to chew through the monsters and 18 blood crushes, you will just swamp them and drown them. It's a very extreme end, but also, again, if you just run into the people that are going to struggle with it, you will just drown them. I feel like there are obviously going to be players that might, like, I feel like Tao would definitely have a good go with this, but yeah, no, I think it's just a really horrible. It's a horrible wall of blood crushers and then three big smashing monsters behind it. And what else? It's very simple, but it's very effective. Um, and then two units of flamers and a unit of flesh hounds for scoring units. I like that. I prefer screamers, but I don't think there's a right or wrong answer with flamers or screamers. I think it just comes down to personal preference. But overall, yeah, it's a really solid list. I really like it. Um, I think 18 crushes without any red masters is interesting, but being able to drop, and this is the thing I really like, because being able to drop these crushers off of both Be'lakor and Scarbrand is just really, really good. Even if you drop Scarbrand from Be'lakor and then drop two units of crushers either side of Scarbrand, again, just absolutely nasty. I feel like this could be a little bit restricted on UKTC, because again, it can't go through walls. Most of this that wants to do the, well, all of it that wants to be doing combat, which is the big three monsters and three big units of crushers. So against opponents that can have enough like pieces they can kind of waste and throw away and scream with and block. They can kind of make this a little bit of a hellscape for moving about the board, but if you can get hold of your opponent's important units, you're just going to walk through them. And this is very much has the capability to absolutely just collapse your opponent. It's a very, very aggressive list. And if you really want to play a very aggressive playstyle, I think this is a very good list to do it with. And obviously, Josh, like I said, has had an incredible run of events. So obviously, good player running a really aggressive list is a horrible combination to deal with. Um, yeah, and also the shooting as well. Like Be'lakor has his 12 shots, a strength 6, -3, 1 damage, dev wounds. Not assault, but you don't maybe just don't advance with him and shoot him. Shalaxi, obviously she has D6. We've already gone over D6 strength 9 -2 D3 damage shots with dev wounds sustain 3, and then also a 6 assault shots. They are assault. At strength 6 -1 2 damage, so really really good. And then Scarbrand has a 2d6 no AP flamer, which is not bad against certain matchups. And then you've also got 6 flamers, 3d6 shots, strength 4 -1 1 damage. So, like, although the shooting isn't where the damage is coming from, you can definitely put out a good bit of damage and a little bit of flamer threat as well. And with Shalaxi, like, I've had it where I've overwatched with her, rolled like 5 6 shots and then rolled like 2 6s, and then that's 2 6s plus another 6 sustained. Like, the Overwatch threat here and just the shooting in general should not be underestimated either. So yeah, well done, Josh. Really amazing list. And I can definitely see why you're just smashing people apart with it. So, oh, we're at the bottom of this one. Yeah. So we've got Nate Quig, who went 4-1 at the Deck Box Masters Grand Tournament. That's a bit of a mouthful. I assume that's in America. I don't know any Deck Box Masters here in the UK, so I assume this is America or Canada. Um, Probably said, it's Canada. Cool. I realise I can see the actual poster of the event. It says Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is pretty sure that's Canada, right? So we've got 2,000 point lists on the nose. We've got Grand Clement with the Endless Gift. Again, we've just gone over him. He's amazing. Good at anchoring the point of the board and securing some primary while eating up your opponent's shooting. Two keepers. One of them has Soul Stealer, so anytime she kills models in combat, on 3+, she'll gain wounds back. Really nice. Both of them have the Aegis to give them a 5 up for no pain. Obviously, they're naturally -1 to hit, 4 up invuln, 18 wounds. Like, they are incredibly tough and annoying to deal with. So the Grand Clement and two keepers, pretty nasty. A Renmaster, so we're going to see some corn in this list, I would assume. Um, and the Renmasters are amazing. Can't bump them up enough. Shalaxi, again, it's proven that she's still really good, even if a bit pricey. Um, but no, I love Shalaxi still, and every time I keep seeing lists doing well with her, I keep wanting to push her back in because it took me so long to drop her, and I had so many people come up to me going, "You finally dropped her." I'm like, "Yes, I know. It was painful, but now the more I'm seeing her do well again, the more I'm like, I think she's gonna come back in for LGT because I do miss my hell bitch." But yeah, we've already gone over. We don't need to go over again. 10 Plague Bearers, really, really good. Again, start in the backfield, sticky it, mid to late game, come up, come down, deny primary, score secondary points. Two Beast and Nurgle, really good to drop down using Denizens of the Warp for 3-inch deep strike to do some secondaries in the backfield. Toughness 9, 7 wins, 5 up in one. That, if your opponent doesn't kill them in phase, they just are at 7 wounds, so they just completely heal back up again. So they're not a nice thing to deal with either, especially if your opponent hasn't got like a lot of like long range shooting that can kind of just point back, or it might force them to have to go backwards, especially if you take like fixed. I don't know if this list would take fixed, but if you are taking a list focusing on fixed, I think 2 to 3 Beast and Hurgle was really good for that. And then just forcing your opponent to have to deal with them. 6 Blood Crushers, so that's where the Ren Master is going to be buffing. Again, Blood Crushers doing the mortals when they go in, just being a pain to get rid of, especially when you're considering you've got 2 Keepers, Shalaxi, and the Ground Clean one to deal with. That's a lot to deal with. That is a lot to deal with. Um, like that's fairly tough as well. And then 3 Screamers. Yeah, I love the Screamers. I want more Screamers, but that's just because it's me. The Screamers are very good, very fast, can actually do a little bit of combat damage as well, should they want to hit on 4s. But yeah, like again, this list is essentially running 4 big monsters that all have either a 4 up front of pain or 5 up front of pain, and then just various ways to debuff the opponent. And damage wise, Shalaxi will eat through most things. The keepers can do a bit of damage. The Grand Clean one can do damage. Just solid. And obviously the Blood Crusher doing their thing. Not taking advantage of Shadow Bubbles, which is cool. I can't lie. Like Bellacor's in my list at the moment just to give me that option, but I don't really rely on it. No Bellacore, as we said again. I don't know what terrain is played on. I have no idea what type of terrain they play on in Canada. Could be GW style, and if it is, then yeah, I can see this list working very well on GW style. But yeah, just super fast list, good defense and good durability. It's just a real pain to deal with. Like your opponent can't. It's going to be hard for your opponent to just send units, individual units after individual units in this list. Because to take down the Ground Clean one, you need multiple things. To take down the keepers, you need multiple things. To take down Shalaxi, you need multiple things. So all the big threats, all the big key units to this are not going to be easy to deal with. Same as the Blood Crushers, they're not easy to deal with. So yeah, solid, really, really solid. I like this list a lot, and I can see it just pushing forward, ramming into the opponent, and then just being a pain to get rid of. So now we're going to look at the Medhammer GT Golden Dawn 2, and Nicolas Francone. It's weird adding an NE to my name. Franco is easy to say, but Francone or Francone, I'm gonna say Francone. It sounds posher. I have no idea where this was. Not a clue. This could be anywhere. I maybe the US, maybe somewhere in Europe. I have no idea. Not a clue. Um, so we've got a list sitting at 1,990 points, so 10 points off. It's all good. We've got Bellacore, which is awesome, giving you the universal bubble, Wreath and Shades. Again, we don't want to keep rehashing the same thing. I still like Bellacore. Bloodthirster with Argath. Again, we've gone over him. Absolute animal. The Ground Clean one with the Endless Gift. Again, we've gone over him. There's a reason you're seeing reoccurring units. There's a reason the Ground Clean one is popping up a lot. It's because they're all good units and they're all pretty solid to have. Scarbrand, again, just an animal. And Skull Taker, again, Skull Taker's really good, and even on his own can do a good bit of work. So, running 4 big monsters. I like this as a monster combination in my big Monster Mash list focus, which you can check out. Which was not the was it the last video I uploaded? No, not the last video. The video before. I think video before the last one. I pretty much talk about this as a 4 monster combination. I really, really like it. I think it just gives you a nice mixture between utility, damage, and durability. So, and then we have, Nurglings, really good for 6 Nurglings actually. So just trying to basically cover the board early game for like move blocking, screening out other infiltrators, screening out scout moves. Quite nice. You could have 2 units 3 because you're 10 points short, but I assume he really wanted to have that unit of 6, which is cool. 10 play bearers, again, can't hype them up enough, so it looks like Skull Taker's on his own, which is cool. If you draw Assassinate and you need to get someone in there fast, Skull Taker's good enough to do it. Precision, Strength 6, -3, 3 damage, dev wounds, reroll hits and wins against characters. 2 units of 3 fiends, love that. Love that. I'm on the Fiend hype. I love the Fiends anyway, and I was just waiting for them to get cheaper. I think the Fiends are fantastic, absolutely amazing. Um, then we've got three Flamers, five Flesh Hounds, three Screamers, and five Seekers. So take your pick from all the small MSU units. But yeah, the Flamers drop down, do their thing. Screamers fast moving, go forward. Flesh Hounds fast moving, move blocking, very good for that. Seekers good for move blocking, scouting, 9 inches pre-game as well, which is really really nice. So it's got a good amount of scoring. It can definitely play on the primary as well. The Fiends can go and brawl in the middle. Garbrandt and the Bloodthirst are just going to go and go nuts and go ham and just smash things to pieces. The Ground Clean holds part of the board and says, "This is mine." And Be'lakor just does whatever Be'lakor is needed to do during the game, whether protecting, being a delivery system, and getting stuck in as well with shooting and combat. So yeah, again, another solid list. You can kind of see a bit of a theme on how these lists are being built with the combination of monsters and the other bits and pieces. I wish we were seeing more lists with less monsters. Um, but the monsters are really good at the moment, and which is good because I feel like that is the identity for Demon. So, but yeah, another really solid list. And then the last one we're going to look at is at FruitCon 2024, which I am again going to just assume it's an American event. We've got Peter O'Neill. So running 1,985 points. It really gets me when a list is 18 is more than 10 points under. And I know it's annoying. I know demon lists can be incredibly annoying. Um, it says demons 1.0 corn, so I'm going to assume this is a pure corn list, if not mostly corn with probably a little bit of Nurgle. But I'm hoping it's pure corn because I want to get at least one mono list in here. So, I mean, we've got a good start. Triple Bloodmaster, which I mean, I guess we're going to see triple blood letter units. I love the Bloodmaster. +1 to wounds makes the blood letters a lot more palatable as a unit. And 6-inch consolidation, which is absolutely amazing. Being able to go into something, hopefully kill it, and then be able to 6-inch consolidate, allowing you to get onto an objective, or even be able to tag units, which is just really, really nice. Yeah, the Bloodmasters are amazing. Bloodthirster again, King Argath, just solid big monster, will be a delivery system as well. Renmaster, again, giving you the buffs. If you're taking a corn list, you've got to take at least 1 to 2 Renmasters at least. And then Scarbrand, again, big smashy monster. And we love Scarbrand giving everything +1 attack within 6 inches. That's not a monster or vehicle or extra attacks, obviously. So Scarbrand will be giving 30 blood letters with Bloodmasters in them, like 3 attacks each. It's really, it's really, really, really good. Um, I mean, corn just does not appeal to me in general. I'm just not a corn guy, and I just find corn quite boring and generic. But this list is really calling to me, and I don't know why I really like it. um, 6 blood crushes, 5 flesh hounds, 5 flesh hounds, 5 flesh hounds. I think that's a solid like extra part of the list. Like every time I look at a corn list and build a corn list, I generally do 2 units of 6 blood crushes, 3 units of 5 flesh hounds. 3 units, 10 blood letters is interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of blood letters, but the fact that Peters has taken 3 blood masters, to me just makes it a lot more palatable. Now I'm like, okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Being able to drop down, even if your opponent tries to screen you out, you run in, you kill whatever you hit, then you have 6 inch consolidation, and that's cannot be understated on just how good that is. Because that can get you onto an objective and to steal it off your opponent. That can get you some extra secondary points. That can tag up important units afterwards that your opponent thought they had protected and screened. So yeah, and then obviously the Bloodthirster Scarbrand giving you good protections. And no Be'lakor, but I think this list doesn't want Be'lakor. It just wants as much corn smashy stuff as possible. And seeing it be pure corn is just awesome. I'm really happy we managed to get. I can't lie, I did look over the list. But I think I might have looked over this, skimmed over it briefly. So I think I knew it was monocorn, I just forgot. But yeah, no, really, really solid list. I like this list a lot. I do feel like if your opponent has a lot of like small little screening units, they are going to be annoying. Um, I guess that's where the flesh hounds come in and they just kind of go in and skirmish and try and clear those little units first, but also act as your secondary scorers. Your bloodletters as well can do that. I'm guessing holding the backfield, probably some flesh hands, maybe some bloodletters. You stick it, you move about the board. You've got a lot of I want to say not so much speed. You've got a bit of speed in this list, to be fair, with Blood Crushers having a 10-inch move, the Flesh Hands having a 12-inch move, obviously both with the spend an inch for pivot. The Thirster is moving 12, again spending 2 inches for pivot. Scarbrand only moves 8, and obviously the Red Masters move 8. The Blood Crushers, Bloodletters, and the Blood Masters move 6. But advance and charge through warp search is a thing. Scarbrand and Bloodthirst have always been able to do it. The other guys have been able to do it in the shadows, which if they're within 6 of one of the big guys, they're going to be able to do it anyway because of the pawn shadow. So, yeah, no, really solid list. It does do me in that it is 15 points under, but there is no way you can fix that in this type of list. And Peter's essentially just gone, screw it, I'll deal with it, which is fine. So yeah, so there's five lists that we've just gone through. All went 4-1 at their respective events. All really cool lists. Um, Crossovers, obviously, as you would expect, every faction has crossovers between the good lists, but I still feel like every list kind of had mostly their own identity, which is really nice, especially this last one. I think this one, just because it's monocorn and just see a mono god list just pleases me. It's probably my favorite out of the five. Um, but yeah, no, all really good lists. So if you're looking at if you're going to an event and you kind of want to take inspiration from another person's list, then I think these are 5 lists to look at. And like I said, we plan to give a run through of these lists. It would be awesome to hear from the people running these lists, and hopefully on either social media or even in the comments down below, just giving a bit of a rundown of how they played it. Um, but yeah, solid lists, really solid lists. Even some inspiration for me to take from, to be honest. I'm looking at some of these and thinking of some different lists I could run, so I really like them. So yeah, so thank you for tuning in. Of course, do the usual like and subscribe. It's free, it takes a few seconds, and it's massively appreciated. It helps the channel grow, which we are growing massively thanks to all of you kind food denizens. Check out Facebook and Instagram as well. Obviously, that's where to keep up to date with everything true Demon Lord. Check out the Discord as well. There are links hanging around. We will put a link in this description. Hopefully, I remember to do that. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. We will catch you all in the next one.